In this week's episode, we are bringing the heat and definitely the sugar and spice. And I mean that in the literal sense because we are joined by Owethu Shongwe, who is a professional chef, better known to you as Chef Owethu. You may have seen him on the Luju stages because he was the winner of the cook-off. But apart from that, he has worked at the most prestigious restaurants in South Africa and right here at Kaya Eswatini. He joins us to unpack his story and tell us more about his life details and how he is navigating life as a professional chef. Oza or chef or Owethu, welcome to Young Climber.
Hi, Tabelo.
I'm very excited to have you because, you know, I've had the engineers, I've had every single professional you can imagine, but speaking to a chef for me just sparks a different light. Can we backtrack a little to your childhood, your upbringing, and where this passion for culinary began?
So growing up, I used to be in the kitchen a lot when my mom used to cook. And lately did I know that I would become a chef one day.
Yeah.
You know, and my education background, I went to evangelical preschool and then proceeded to St. Mark's Primary. And then after that, I went to St. Francis High School.
Yeah, and what inspired you to pursue a career in the culinary arts? Apart from your mom and, you know, just things that happened that made you sure, Wutsi, this is the path that I want to take. Maybe your school experience. When we went from Fanaka home, can you talk about those?
So what actually inspired me to become a chef is at school, yes, I did home economics.
Oh, wow.
And I actually discovered that I'm pretty much good when it came to like practicals, you know, like my flavor profile was actually the best, if I may say. And then after high school, I actually decided to follow my talent, my passion. Yeah. Because when I do that, I know that in any day I won't regret doing what I love.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And can we just talk about that moment in your life? You know, some careers are often looked down upon, where you're questioned like several times. Are you sure you want to do this? Especially, you know, by our parents, our family members. How was it for you when you took that decision and you told your parents, Kutsi, meaning, were they acceptive of your decision?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Fortunate enough, I have a very supportive family, including my mom, you know. When I told them that I want to actually pursue culinary arts, they were very supportive. They actually told me, you know what, just follow your dreams, follow what you love. Yeah, so it was simple for me.
And I think more than most, you were fortunate enough to join Capsicum Culinary Studio in Pretoria, which is like one of the most prestigious culinary schools you can ever be a part of. Why did you decide on this institution, and how did your experience there, you know, shape your culinary skills?
Yeah. So joining Capsicum was actually a great experience for me, you know, since it's one of the best culinary schools in South Africa. Yeah. Being there, I think we're two Swazis there. So it was pretty much a great experience. I had a lecturer by name of Chef Anita. Yeah. So she was very supportive and she actually understood me, you know, she understood my food language. So yeah, she actually shaped me to become who I am today.
And with you were able to graduate with like several honors, including Graduate of the Year and Best Practical Performance. How did you manage to achieve such outstanding results from your time at this culinary school?
So what helped me the most is actually knowing what to actually compromise, you know. Being in South Africa, you know, there's so much influence, you know, because like where I used to stay, my friends, you know, were too much on the groovy side, but I had to, you know, remember where I come from. And, you know, I had to stick to my books and make sure that I studied even throughout on weekends. So, yeah, that helped me a lot.
you were also fortunate enough, to score some jobs at the most prestigious restaurants. Can you just start off with where you started, after school? Ungene kitchen, being the junior chef, everyone is just looking at you like, hey, Lorna. But with you, you just moved, and I was looking at the restaurants that you were working at. It's definitely the good ones. Can you talk about the start? You were at Rockets, right, in Pretoria. How did you get into there? Which doors did you knock on after your school experience?
It's actually a funny story. So I was breaking from school, and I went to St. Times Square in Mainland.
Yeah.
And then I actually wanted to see this place called Rockets. I've been seeing it on social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
And when I got there, it was actually too classy, and I'm like, I'm actually not the target market here.
Yeah.
And then the hostess actually approached me, and then she asked me, who am I looking for? And I was like, no, can I see the head chef?
Okay.
So
Just in that moment?
Just in that moment. And the head chef came out, and I introduced myself, and we had a mini conversation. He gave me his email, and then we started talking through emails. And surprisingly, found this email some other day, and he's like, do you want to work here? And I was...
He offered you?
Yeah, he offered me,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I would like to work there at Rockets. So yeah, since from then, I began my industry practice at Rockets.
And how did that just grow you as a chef, being thrown into a space, such a huge space at the beginning of your career? How did that improve your skill as a chef?
It actually improved my skills a lot, because industry and school, it's actually two different things.
Yeah.
Having to work under pressure, it's actually not easy. The first few weeks, or rather the first month, wasn't easy. Having to work with other professionals who are actually used to, the fast-paced industry. But as time went by, I ended up, being in line.
And I feel like, with cooking or with being a chef, you need to, I can say, upgrade yourself or upgrade your flavors as you go. You then moved to a restaurant in Waterkloof. How did that differ from Rockets? Because I would say, looking from the outside, Rockets is indawo ebumnandi. The food may not be too fine dine type of vibe, but then you moved on over to a different place. Can we talk about the change in the roles? Did you see a difference from Rockets to Waterkloof?
Yeah, so when I moved to Brasserie de Paris in Waterkloof, when I got there, it was a good experience for me, since this places are very, very different. At Rockets, we used to serve a la carte menu, and then there by Brasserie de Paris, we served fine dining.
Yeah.
So it was actually my first time venturing into fine dining. So yeah, it was a good experience for me.
And bekunjani nje, I mean, that transition, for maybe longer than was it also a learning curve for you? What are some of the experiences and challenges, most importantly, that you had, in the kitchen, moving or switching from the two?
What could be what was challenging, in fine dining?
Yeah.
Like, you need to pay attention to detail, so you can't just plate, everything has to be modeled, in a certain way, So yeah, I that's where I actually polished my skill of paying attention to detail when actually creating a dish, or rather when plating a dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also made the conscious decision of coming home. I mean, so sebendela restaurants laba, maybe one would say, just invest in yourself that side. There's more opportunity, but then you came home. What does it mean for you to, share your skill with other Eswatini? Because Labanye don't get the opportunity to break out, of the kingdom and get that skill that you learn from these prestigious schools.
Yeah. So since I had acquired the skills in South Africa,
Yeah.
I actually thought long and hard about it, that why don't I come back to my own jungle and become the king there than being a king in a foreign jungle, you know, and to actually spread the word out there of, you know, culinary arts locally, you know. And so it's my mission to actually inspire other cooks or other upcoming chefs, you know, to actually go through the journey I went to.
Yeah, and you know, when someone is working, we're often interested in the money that they make, but I've seen that you also volunteered at major events such as Miss SA After Party and some SADC summits. What did that mean for your career? And can you just talk about the different scene and the pressure of preparing the food? Because every plate has to be as good, you know, and these are just major events. How was it for you and what did it mean for your career?
So, to be honest, I was actually shocked to be selected. Okay, first let's talk about the Miss SA.
The selection process.
Yeah, the selection
process.
How did
it happen? Yeah.
Miss SA After Party. So I was the only junior chef, the only chef in practice there. So they told me that you'll be going to the arena there to actually serve and actually prepare, you know, the canapes for the after party. And when I got there, you know, I was rubbing shoulders with a lot of celebrities there, you know, so it was a good moment for me, you know, and I actually enjoyed the food, you know, the satisfaction in me actually seeing people, you know, enjoying food that I cooked, you know, and coming to the SADC Summit, I was working alongside with Chef Loni, famously known for catering for Idols SA. And we actually catered for SADC ministers, you know. It was a good experience, you know, seeing, you know, one of the great people in Africa actually indulging in, you know, the food that we actually cooked.
That's beautiful. And you were also a part of the Loan Experience, which was at Solani's last year. How was this event for you, and what are some of the unique dishes that you showcased there?
The Loan Experience has to be the best event I've ever catered for. Yeah, because when I got there, I was given the opportunity to actually curate my own menu. So I actually prepared canapes, which was actually welcoming food for like the patrons. And then I made 3 dishes, which were for like the main event, and I was actually, you know, selling those. I had made Korean bao buns, chicken espartada, and then chicken quesadilla as well. And people really enjoyed it.
I think maybe we should bring that one back, but we will be talking more about, you know, your continued experience here in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course the Luju Cook-Off, which you were the winner of, but that is only when we return from our break. Welcome back. Today's episode, we are coming to you from F's Lounge, which just recently opened in Mbabane. If you know the vibes that it brings in Manzini, worry not, you do not have to drive down. There is an establishment at the MVA building. F's Lounge opened up in Mbabane, and they offer beautiful food. You can come here and enjoy your food, enjoy your drinks, just good vibes with good friends. But speaking of good vibes, and someone who's been talking about good food, we do have Chef Dioza. He's joining us here on Young Climate, just unpacking his journey. And most importantly and most recently, we saw him as the Luju Cook-Off competition winner. Just the application process. This means we start up. Because that thing is scary. I think from the beginning, you enter the competition. Did you have your doubts, or you were like, you knew last year, this year, I'm going to enter?
Yeah, to be honest, benginalo uluvalo kancane,
Yeah,
you know, but
kancane.
I'm a firm believer of, faith. Like, I always have faith in everything that I do, you know. Ngisaqala nje kufaka the application and all of that. I knew, I'm going to win, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew deep down, but I just didn't show it, to my friends and family and my supporters, you know. Yeah, but it was a good experience. I applied there, and then the theme was a return to the African future.
Yeah.
So we had to actually focus on traditional
indigenous
meals,
foods,
indigenous foods, you know, and that's when I actually came up with this idea of actually incorporating the Western style and the African style, traditional, you know, because I cooked polenta and beef tripe, you know, and which actually put me through the semi-finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And moving on to that experience, you've cooked in the kitchen, which is mostly for us, we'd say it's behind the scenes. But Nyalo, you were put out there in front of people. I think mina nje ngingaqaqatelisa ngilokuthi sengisembi kwebantu ngisho ngikwadi kupheka. How did you manage to get yourself through that? How were you psyching yourself to tell yourself, Kuti, I'll come out top, I'll kill the nerves, and I will, make sure this dish comes out perfectly? Because you were also, there was Lorna on stage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that could have just made me shiver, but how did you psych yourself?
I was nervous, and to be honest, so I have a sister, my older sister. So each time before I went to sleep, we would always rehearse,
wow.
pretend I'm in front of the audience, which actually helped me to calm down my nerves. Yeah, and then when I got there in stage, I was actually free. I was comfortable, I didn't have any stage fright, I was just there to take it on.
And can you just talk about the post-Luju, being on that stage? How has it developed your career? I know that Nyalo nga August, but what are some of the opportunities that it has brought into your life and grown you as a chef?
Luju actually played a huge role in my, upcoming, yeah. So I gained more clientele, and some catering businesses actually do consult with me. Okay. So yeah, it has really put me out there.
I love that so much, because we always want to see you better yourself. We always want to see you grow. But your culinary philosophy emphasizes on precision, creativity, and storytelling through food. Can you share an example of a dish that embodies this philosophy, and why you chose these specific words in creating you and your brand?
So I actually chose those words because they describe who I am, they describe my work as well. So one dish I would actually explain would be my dish that I actually prepared for Luju that actually took me through the finals. I think I actually won in the semi-finals because I actually expressed my feelings in that dish. In South Africa, it's more of like the Western style of cooking. And then here I am in Swaziland, it's mostly like the traditional style of cooking. So I actually incorporated both, to actually express who I am.
And I love that you speak about incorporation. So that means you considering the Eswatini flavors and the taste that Eswatini love. And we've moved into a time where Eswatini are creating their own flavors when it comes to sauces and different things, tegudla. What are some of your favorite local ingredients? Are there any local ingredients that you use? Gunabo Black Mamba that we often see, people using, and other local brands that people are starting to embrace, and chefs most importantly.
With the local ingredients, It has to be an ingredient from my own garden, which is inkaka.
Oh yes,
So yeah, I
love
enjoy
it.
cooking with inkaka because it's actually very healthy. You know, as it's good for actually regulating your blood pressure. You know, yeah. So it has to be inkaka.
And that's actually one of my favorites, and people don't understand because you know the bitter taste of
Yeah,
it.
the bitter taste, yeah.
But as a professional chef, you know, here we're talking to young people. We've heard your story, we've heard your journey. I'm sure there's so much more that you can unpack, you know, about your journey. But we want to encourage the young people at home, the aspiring chefs, and not just young people, because we're focusing too much. They are aspiring chefs, Labatzala. Can you talk about the skills that you have learned that are critical for a chef to possess, or an aspiring chef?
Yeah, and for an aspiring chef, the most important skills has to be flavor profile and presentation. You know, those are the two most critical, key things in culinary arts.
Yeah.
Because when cooking, you need to, when presenting your food to your clients, it needs to be presentable.
Yeah.
And it needs to actually taste good as it looks.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, for me, those are the key things. Yeah.
And with you have a vision to give back to your community by promoting Eswatini flavors. What steps are you taking, or how are you hoping to achieve this, or to mentor young chefs in the Kingdom of Eswatini to make sure that we elevate the local food scene?
Yeah, so mostly what I do is I do have a few aspiring chefs, who are actually looking up to me.
Yeah.
So when I have my private events, I normally invite them through. You know, they actually cook with me, learn how to plate and all the likes. So of course there is an incentive I give them at the end, you know, and yeah.
And with I think every industry, it's safe to say that we're moving with trends, we're moving with times. We're no longer just eating burger and chips. As for now, truffle pasta, the elite foods. How are you bettering yourself as a chef to move with the trends, to move with the times? And what are some of the trends currently that are exciting you?
So there's a chef I'm looking up to by the name of Chef Wandile Mabaso. He's actually my role model.
Yeah.
So each time I follow his page quite a lot. So
Where is he based?
He's based in SA,
okay.
in South Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
So he actually inspires me a lot, and I look up to him.
All righty. So how are you hoping to improve your dishes? Does this mean going back to school for you, or how do you manage to stay, on top of your flavors, if I could put it like that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It has to be dusting my books.
Yeah.
So I have a book this size called The Chef's Bible.
Okay.
So since I have like the basic skills now, all I need to do is just, go back to my books and actually, learn more recipes, and actually, improve.
And
skills.
improving means that you have a bigger dream, you have a bigger vision for yourself as a chef. What are some of the dreams that you're hoping to achieve as a chef in the near years, whether it's in Eswatini, in South Africa, or in the world? Because, food can take you anywhere. It's like music.
Yeah, true. Like I said earlier on, I want to be the king in my own jungle, so my vision or my goal is to actually own a restaurant, sometime like top fine dining restaurant here in Eswatini. And with that fine dining restaurant, I want to actually focus on traditional meals, but actually turn them to like the Western style. So we actually accommodate even tourists coming from abroad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just before we end off, Having seen the culinary space in the Kingdom of Eswatini, how do you hope other chefs can improve the space for us in Maswati? Because nje thina sifike sidle side nalo moya we-complaina kudla nangabe ungakakuthandi in a restaurant, but how are you hoping other chefs improve the space, or are you happy with the current culinary space in the Kingdom of Eswatini?
To be honest, I do see the change.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of improvements in our local restaurants.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the chefs never got the opportunity to actually go to like a culinary school.
Yeah.
But it actually shows that they take the initiative to actually do their research. You know, to actually. Or maybe watch videos online, you know, because remember when it comes to culinary arts, we're talking of skill.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a matter of you practicing until you actually nail it. Yeah.
And as we close off, can you please just share your parting words with aspiring chefs, aspiring young professionals? Can you give them a bit of encouragement, you know, to get up and get going?
Yeah. What I can say is don't give up on your dreams as an aspiring chef, as a young chef. The industry is quite difficult.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie, just want to be raw and honest. But it depends on what you want to achieve, you know. Yeah, that
Yeah.
has to be it.
And because you offer a service, I'm sure the umuntu nangabe afuna, you did say you're offering private dining experiences. So umuntu nangabe afuna kubona lokudla that maybe we'll be showing here, can you tell us where they can catch you?
So they can catch me on my socials. On Instagram, it's chef_Deoza. On Facebook, it's Owethu Shongwe.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, and also my numbers, yeah, you can get them on Facebook, or I can actually share them here. It's +268 7931 7265.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Owethu Shongwe, better known as Chef Deoza, the Luju Cook-Off winner and the king of our jungle.
Yeah.
I like that one so much. Thank you so much for joining us here on Young Climber.
Thank you, Talon.
Alrighty, the space was brought to us by Eve's Lounge right here in Babane. So if you want a place to chill, just enjoy good vibes, please do come and check them out. They recently opened, but the space is enjoyable, and definitely come here with your friends and enjoy maybe the special offerings that they have for you at home. But yeah, we are signing out, we are bowing out, we are loving and leaving you. But next week, Tuesday, 6:30, we will be back again to share another inspirational story. For today, it is good night and God bless.